Come take a trip in my airship. Come take a sail among the stars. Come have a ride around Venus. Come have a spin around Mars. Show us the world while we're busy. Show us to see while we school. Come take a trip in my airship and we'll visit the man in the moon.
Hello and welcome to Airship 27 Productions podcast number 77. I'm Chief Engineer Rob Davis here virtually alongside my co-host, Captain Ron Fortier.
Howdy, Rob. Hey, 77. I want to break out into songs. 77, what was it, 76 trombones?
77 Sunset Strip.
Sunset Strip. Oh, I was wondering if that was one of my favorite shows as a kid growing up. I used to like that a lot. Ephraim Simbles Jr., Roger Smith, and Kooky Ed Burns with his little grease and the pre-Fonz. That's what I like to call him. All right, he was Fonzie before Fonzie showed
That's
up.
right. That's right.
Oh man. Hey, look, I'm looking at the calendar. I'm glad we were able to squeeze this one in. It's been 5 weeks since our last show, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit because it was like the week before I had my surgery, and then and it's now been a month since then. I want to bring people up to date on that. But hey, guess who gets to tell the first bad joke of the episode? Me! Yay! Oh man. Okay, so I found this online this afternoon, and man, it's if I can pull it off, I'm going to read it very carefully our friends can hear everything. All right, here we go. A cop stops a Harley for traveling faster than the posted speed limit, and he asks the biker his name. Fred, he replies. Fred what? The officer asks. Just Fred, the man responds. The officer is in a good mood and thinks he might just give the biker a break and write him a warning ticket. So the officer presses him for his last name. The man tells him that he used to have a last name, but he lost it. The officer thinks that's a little like maybe he's got a nutcase on his hands, but he plays along. Tell me, Fred, how did you lose your last name? The biker replies, it's a long story, so stay with me. I was born Fred Dingaling. I know, a funny last name. The kids used to tease me all the time. So I stayed to myself. I studied hard and got good grades. When I got older, I realized I wanted to be a doctor. I went through college, medical school, internship, residency, and finally got my degree. So I was Fred Dingaling, MD. Now, after a while, I got bored being a doctor. So I decided to go back to school. Dentistry was my dream. I got all the way through school, got my degree, and so then I was Fred Dingaling, MD, DDS. But you know what? I got bored with dentistry. So I started fooling around with my assistant, and she gave me VD. So now I was Fred Dingaling, MD, DDS with VD. Well, when the ADA found out about the VD, they took away my DDS. Then I was Fred Dingaling, MD with VD. Then the AMA found out about what the ADA taking away my DDS because of the VD. So they took away my MD, leaving me as Fred Dingaling with VD. Then the VD took away my Dingaling, so now I'm just Fred. The officer walked away, tears in his eyes. The guy who wrote that has got way too much time on his hands. Way too much time.
He's got a fixation on initials as well. Oh my.
Now I'm just Fred.
I lost my dingaling, so now I'm just Fred. Oh my.
Crazy, crazy stuff, I tell you. Oh, man alive. So, loyal airmen, hang in there another hour or so, and Rob's going to gift us with his bad joke.
Oh, just wait.
All right. Hey, we got quite a few things we want to talk to you about this month, and a lot of them are really exciting. And some are very special that you're going to want to pay attention to as we go through the agenda. But as I promised just before, you know, torturing all of you with that story, uh, I do want to give you all a little update on the fact that it has been exactly a little over a month since I had my prostate removed, and I am doing rather well. I think I'm on the right trajectory for my recovery, which is usually 6 weeks. So here we are. I've still got a couple weeks of that left
Right.
because of the doctor's strict instructions that after the surgery I was to do no heavy lifting whatsoever,
Yep.
not to exert myself in any shape, form, or whatever. And so I really thank my son Alan here and my wife Valerie, who's a great caregiver, and everybody's been very, very, protective of the fact that I follow along with that. Rob and I talked a little bit during the last month, and one of the things that both of us discovered, because Rob went through this a while back himself,
Yeah.
um, I didn't realize that I could get tired doing nothing. Um, but the
Yeah.
the
It's
bottom line
amazing,
with
isn't
this
it?
isn't so much. It is, and when I say nothing, of course, that's a misnomer. What is actually happening is my internal body is healing. Okay,
Yep.
understand? I was cut 6 different times. All right, 3 on each sides of my abdomen, and I mean severe cuts. That's what the doctor reminded me of, and he put it rather brutally. It's like you just got stabbed 6 times, Ron. All right,
Yeah.
so people can look at Ron walking around, in the morning or talking with friends or whatever, and I'm more and more getting out now. But it's what's inside that got all cut up, all
Yeah.
right, and is healing, and that process does sap your vitality. So
Absolutely.
here's the guy. I never used to nap, and now every afternoon by 1:30, I'm snoring away in the chair. But as Valerie says, that's a good thing because
Yeah.
that's allowing my body to heal. And
Yep.
so again,
Yep. Yep.
I'm looking at August the 2nd is when I revisit the surgeon. So far, we've already had the results of what they found in my abdomen after they removed the prostate, i.e.,
Mhm.
they checked out nodes and whatever and made sure I was clean.
Right.
And
Right.
all those things came back negative. All right. That was a positive. Yeah, totally. There
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
no other cancer anyplace else. So, what's going to happen next? And again, Rob can tell you about this procedure. What will happen next is a day or two prior to my visit, I will be going to get blood work so that they can take a PSA reading. All right,
Right.
which was the thing that started all of this procedure way back at the
Yep.
start of the year when it had risen so critically. We knew something was wrong. But now, if again the cancer is completely gone, that reading should be at least 0 or 1. That's so
It'll have
minuscule to be.
I've had several that have a few little numbers. It has 0.00567899, you know, and
Right,
and I look at that and I go, "What?" And the doctor goes, "No, that's normal. That's zero. It just
right,
registers numbers just to register numbers." Yeah, and every year from now on, you'll need to get that PSA test. Now,
yeah, oh yeah,
what that means, I'll tell because you and I know what PSA stands for. It's prostate specific antigen. What that does is tell you by having it now, it tells you if you get a positive now, that means there's a stray bit of your prostate that slipped away and is moving around inside your body. And if that starts going up, then it's growing somewhere. It may not
right,
be in the same spot it was originally. At least this is the way my doctor explained it to me. To
right.
me. But if you start getting numbers on that, that means some of it got away and is hiding somewhere, and they need
Well,
to
right.
find.
And so
Yeah.
the answer to that was, and again, right now, because when I spoke to Dr. Lee after the surgery, he seems to think that the surgery was really super successful in that, with video cameras and the way the robot performed
Yeah.
everything, that they got all of my prostate. There wasn't anything left. And then, like I said, the medical report from the labs afterwards pretty much confirmed that. Now, again, they can't ever guarantee you 100% anything. And
No.
we had talked, and
Yeah.
he had told me, no, and he had told me, he had said, look, he says, if even a small smidgen got out, like you just said, loose, all right,
Hmm.
and the PSA will tell us that. He says, the process then, Ron, is so simple. He says, we will find it. We'll MRI you
Yep.
or whatever.
Yep.
And then he said, we'll zap it with radiation, just that
Yep.
little piece, and we'll zap it and be gone. So, anyways, hey, I'm doing great, everybody. The prognosis is positive, and hopefully when we come back with our podcast next month in August, I'll be able to give you a much better, full, complete report. But before I end this segment, I can't finish it without thanking all of you who sent me, well wishes, prayers, lifting me up to God and the surgeons and the doctors and everybody else, and made a huge difference. Okay, it's it's really humbling to know that people out there think of you and are concerned with your health and your well-being. And I've been blessed with so many good friends in my life, and more so now than ever before. I want all of you to know that you will forever be in my heart and my prayers for that thought and what got me and my wife and family through this event. Okay. And one final note, which Rob and I will echo. Okay, this is the results of normal checkups. Okay, Captain Ron's going to be with you for a long time yet to come. Rob and I are going to produce a whole bunch
We're
of
going to keep
books.
giving you bad jokes
Yeah,
for
oh,
quite a
lots of
while.
bad books, and we want you here to enjoy all of that. All right, so get your checkups, get your
Yep.
colonoscopies, get it all. All right, as discomforting as it may feel, as annoying and frustrating, the alternative is a lot grimmer. Let me tell you. So
Yep. Yep.
here we go. We're
What more
living
fun?
examples. All right. Get a checkup and enjoy a lot more of this great life.
It
Okay,
is
buddy.
not fun to
Let's
get the exam. It's not fun to have have them take the blood out of you. This guy, I hate needles. But every year I go in, they take blood. I call them vampires, and they find out whether so they test me for all kinds of stuff. But do it. It's just a momentary problem, and it could make you live a lot longer. So
it will save your life. It
yeah,
saved mine. So there we
yeah.
go.
End
All
of
right. Hey
lecture.
Rob, why don't you take the
Okay.
first take the first agenda, because again, like I said, we've got some nuggets for you.
Okay. Airship 20 Productions nominated for the Muncie Award. All of us involved with the company were very surprised when a few weeks ago the nominees for this year's Muncie Awards were released. There were 11 total nominations, 10 for individuals and 1 for an organization. That one organization being Airship 27. That is such an honor and one we have to share with all the talented writers and artists who have worked with us from day one, helping produce over 200 new pulp novels and anthologies. Thanks to all who nominated us, and the good people who organize and run Pulp Fest every year, where the award winner is announced. And of course, our congratulations as well to all the other nominees. Good luck to us all.
Yeah, really. But again, like I said, this really struck home to me, Rob, because I think it was a real, again, like I said, recognition of all these writers and artists who've helped make Airship 27 what it is. And if we've got any kind of a positive, you know, what what's the word I want? Presence. That's it. In the new
Presents.
pulp community, it's because of these creators, all right? And if we've got, again, a good rep and people enjoy what we do, it's because of all these fine writers and artists that have shaped this dream that Rob and I had into something substantial. And again, having that nomination come to the company instead of an individual was really, really fantastic. I absolutely love it. I can't, again, I don't know who these people are who nominated us, but thanks from the bottom of our hearts. All right. And it's just going to fire Rob and I and the rest of the Airship 27 team to keep producing some of the best new pulps you'll ever see. That's our promise to you. So.
Absolutely. So next item.
All right. Okay, so here we go. This one's got me going. All right. Update on Radio Rita. All right. Now, all of you who watched our last show know that at the end of the episode, we read this question from writer Sean Taylor. When does Radio Rita get her own anthology? Sean was referring to the fictional lady we created on Facebook years ago as the manager of Hangar 27. It was her job to let people know when we were going to record a new episode of this show. Now, Rob found an old pinup illustration of a sexy redhead using a short wave radio, and I called her Radio Rita. Then, a few months ago, Rob went and did up another pinup of our gal, which is a beaut. She's like striding this giant airship dirigible, like a World War II vintage pinup. All of which got the Pulp Factory members wondering if we'd ever do more with the character. And so, when answering Sean's question last month, I offered up the idea of doing a new Airship 27 anthology wherein 4 writers working from a very skimpy Bible of this character, basically nothing more than her physical attributes, would do a Radio Rita story, filling in the gaps with their own imaginations, thus resulting in 4 different versions of our gal. Of course, we were joking, but the offer was real. Lo and behold, the very next day, writer Teal James Glenn said he wanted in on the project. The next day, our buddy Gene Moyes came on board and was soon followed by Mel Odom and Samantha Leanhart. And just like that, The Adventures of Radio Rita was officially in production. Okay. Thrilled by this, we thought it only fitting that we recruit a truly awesome artist to do our cover, an artist who knows how to draw beautiful women. And we are now very happy to publicly announce DC artist and former Pulp Factory Award winner, Chad Hardin, known for his work on Harlequin, is our cover artist for the first ever Radio Rita collection. Stay tuned, loyal airmen. This is only going to get better and better. It was because these 4 amazing writers just jumped on board. All right, with the spirit of fun that all this wackiness that was producing. I thought to myself, you know what? I wonder if Chad would jump on board, if he'd get the same sense of fun. And I've actually met Chad in person. Chad's been to Colorado. He was at Rocky Mountain one year, so we hit it off. Along about the time he was doing his cover for the Holmes and Houdini novel that Ian Watson had written for us. And again, he turned in such a beautiful cover for that. So I wrote Chad, and I just laid out the whole bit with how Radio Rita came to be. I sent him the pinups and all this, right? And he gets back to me and goes, okay. He goes, definitely. He says, if I didn't hear from him by mid-July, to give him a nudge. So last week, that being mid-July, I dropped him a little note, Rob, email, and said, hey, Chad, not trying to bug you here, but just following up your own directive. You still think you could fit in that Radio Rita cover for us? He got back to me and goes, I'm squeezing it in. I'm on it. Hang in there. You'll get it. So this guy knows how to draw beautiful women. And I cannot imagine what he's going to give us, because we gave him license. All right. And Rob, you got to know, I'm chomping to start getting those stories in, because I'm so intrigued and fascinated what our 4 writers are going to give us in their versions. This is going to be an unusual book. It really is.
Something completely different from Airship 27.
Hey,
Oh
it's
man.
the way these things get born. I
Well,
swear. All right, it's just
yeah, a joke turns into what hopefully is going to be a fun book. Uh,
yes,
and
yeah.
it could go
And like
go
I said, well, I mean, look, the talent to me, as far as I'm concerned, aside from even Chad signing on board to do the cover, the writers, I mean, Teal, Mel, Gene, and Samantha, okay, are gifted writers. So I'm real, like I said, I'm very anxious and excited to start reading this and for us to start assembling it. Okay, so that's something for all you loyal airmen to keep an eye out and look out for. In the meantime, Rob and I have what I want to call a marketing offer just for you guys. And Rob, if you've got that press release I wrote, I'll let you take that.
Yeah, this thing that just turned invisible.
Yep. Ooh, I'm talking Houdini. Look at that.
Okay, it's titled. Let me turn the light so I can see it just a little bit better. Post-COVID blowout sale. Prior to the start of 2019, we at Airship 27 Productions had stocked up our inventory to handle the shows we hope to attend later that year. When the c- well, yeah, when the COVID shutdown happened, oops, we were left with those books still in their boxes. They're sitting right there, right next to me here in the studio, bowing my floor. Then the year continued. We went and produced another 20 titles. Okay, yeah, COVID came along and shut it all down. Then we went and produced another 20 titles, none of which ever saw a convention table. Haven't even been ordered yet. They're not. There's not even any
Right.
in the boxes yet. All our considerable 2020 sales, for which we thank all our loyal supporters, were done via online ordering from Amazon, and we did pretty well last year. Of course,
Yeah,
everybody's
thanks
like,
to
"Oh,
one and all. Yeah.
you're going to do? You're going to sit and read a pulp book."
Yep, they did. So
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, and they did. Thank you, guys. Now, here we are in 2021, and it's September. After a year and a half absence, Airship 27 will be in attendance at the Windy City Pulp and Paper Convention. This, though a really wonderful thing, presents us with a huge problem. One, how do we sell all that back inventory? And two, which of the new books should we be bringing with us? After examining lots of various options available to us, Airship 27 has decided on turning this challenge into a fantastic sales opportunity for you, our loyal fans. All new titles on our tables at the con will sell for $12. That's a savings of $3 per book off the regular convention price and a whopping $5 off the suggested retail. We will also leave our bargain box containing those titles over 3 years old, which, as always, will sell for $4 each. Move them out. Head them up, move them out.
Amen.
But we simply cannot bring every single title we've released since 2019, and that's where we need your help in a big way. If you're planning on attending Windy City and plan on taking advantage of this one-time only Airship 27 blowout sale, then you will need to visit our website and there pick those titles you want to buy from us. Then you need to email Art Director Rob Davis, yours truly, at robmdavis at me.com with your list of those titles. I will then order those books under your name and we will have them at the show specifically for you. We'll set them aside. Here is the link to our site and we'll put the link up
Yeah, and I
I'll
want
put
people
it in
to know
as
that
under
that press, right,
and then
sometime tomorrow, that press release will go out all over
yeah,
Facebook.
you'll see it there and we'll also,
Yeah,
like I said, put it in the show notes and I'll see if I can put it as
right.
at the bottom of the image here. Your request should be
Good.
into me, please, no later than August 14th, allowing us 3 weeks before the start of the con on September 9th. So, yeah, it seems to take between 2 and 3 weeks for us to get books in. So, yeah, it's best if 14th or earlier, no later than the 14th. and that's I believe
Right.
it's Saturday. If I remember right,
Right.
because so my birthday is the 13th of August, and it's a Friday this year, Friday the 13th.
There you go.
So yeah, so I think like I said, I believe it's a Saturday. Get that to me. I will put in the orders, and then hopefully we'll have those for you at the show. I also have a premium that I bought to be used
Yes.
at
Yes.
spring show, well, when all this started,
Yeah.
and I I think everyone will find use for it at the show and
Amen.
afterwards.
Yep. Yep.
If you
Yeah.
buy 2, 3, 4 books from us, you'll get this premium, and I think
Yep.
everybody will like it. So
I
yeah,
agree. I agree totally. And look, the idea is, again, like I said, one of the things you want to keep in mind is because our habit was always every time we went to a new show to make sure we brought the new books since the last con.
right.
And so again, as Rob was saying, during 2020, we put out well over 20 new titles. All right. But
And since
but
then,
right. And so the bottom line is we can't bring all these books and still move the old inventory stock from 2019. It's way too much. So it's not that we don't want you to have them, but you have, as Rob said, you have to work with us. Okay. We will bring some of the newer titles. Rob and I are going to sit down and look at some of these books
right.
that we know will be, sure sellers, like the Sherlock Holmes new titles that we've done since, because we have people who show up at our cons every year to find the new volumes, those
Yeah.
kind of things that we think are going to be sure sellers. But again, it's going to be very limited because we want to get rid of our inventory. But at the same time, we want you to have access to these new books and follow Rob's directions. Please take a minute, go to our website, get a pencil and paper, and go through our website. And if there are any books that you want, and never mind just the new stuff that came out, any book you order from Rob
In
right now, you're going to get for $12 at the con.
right.
This is a one-time thing,
Yep.
but all new titles that you order, you will pay $12, not a penny more. All right. And help us get rid of the inventory and give you guys a bargain and a half. Believe me. All right. We want this to be a blowout show. We want to see all our old friends again, everybody to have a great time. And like I said, we saw an opportunity here. All right. To give you a really, really great deal on picking up a lot of these new titles. All right. And going home as happy campers and saying, hey, we're back. We're back, but we'll do this one time this year. All right. Don't miss it. Please don't miss it. Tell your friends about it. Like Rob said, we're going to add a lot of stuff to the show notes, and this press release is written. So maybe in a day, 2 days, I will have it all over Facebook as well if you didn't see the episode.
And okay, and now in addition to that, any of you folks who are crossover fans to my comics work and the stuff that I do at that I'll be doing at Planet Comic Con, that's a couple of weeks after our deadline. Actually it's only a week after the deadline I
Right.
just gave you. Because I believe it's the 19th, 20th, and 21st of August in
August.
Kansas City.
Yep.
So right now, if you're wanting any books for from Airship 27, when I go to that show, all I take with me is the books that I've done the covers of or the interior illustrations. If there are any other of our books that you want, tell me now. I will check our inventory, and if we have it, I'll bring it with me. And but you have to let me know by August 1st if it's anything that's not in our inventory. After that, I can order it, but it'll come in after that.
Yep.
So yeah. So if you're going to come see me in Kansas City, and I know there's maybe one or two folks who watch this that do that. Let me know. Use that same email address. Let me know which ones you want, and I'll check the inventory and let you know. But again, get a hold of me before August 1st, because after that, I don't know that I'm going to get them in time. But if they're not in the inventory, all right. That
There you go. Okay.
end of commercial.
Yeah.
End of
All right.
promo.
And so let's get back to the good creative stuff, i.e., released since our last show. And
There
this
you
is
go.
this is an odd duck in and of itself. I'll take the first one, and that's Wu Dang #3, Return of the Wanderer. This is the third fantasy adventure of the Chinese martial artist created and written by Barbara Duran. In book 3, he and several of his companions leave California and return to China to help his father's family. Artist Gary Cotto is now completing the interior illustration. He has completed them, the book's out. And as Rob has done the cover like he did to the first two. So basically, the book is finished, the book is out. And here's the thing you want to keep in mind. If you've been following it, this is the last book. It's a trilogy. So this is book number 3. You want to get it to wrap it all up, but we're going to give you a little teaser here for those of you who are even interested slightly, all right? In the past, we've had fun in doing what we call omnibus editions when we could, when it seemed viable. And because this is now a completed trilogy, we're going to sell issue number 3, volume number 3, mostly towards the end of the year. But come December, New Year's, or whatever, we've already talked to Barbara, and she loves the idea. And we'll probably sit down and talk with Rob about doing another cover, but for an omnibus edition that would be out the first of the year and contain the entire Wu-Dang trilogy.
For those of you who need a doorstop.
We've done a few of these in the past, and Nancy Hansen for sure for her pirate books, and we're getting ready to do another one because she's about ready to wrap up the second saga volume. And then we did Ian
Legend
Watson's
of Robin Hood.
which I scoffed up immediately. I love that thing. I think that's such a fantastic
I have
thing.
one. I checked the inventory. I have one of those in the boxes. So
if you love Robin Hood and those legends, that book is absolutely. And Rob did all the interior illustrations. They're just gorgeous. And he did the cover to the omnibus. Yeah, the cover to the omnibus. Okay, so now you want to talk about latest release. This one, as we're talking, went up this morning on Amazon. I'll let you describe it, buddy.
Okay, yeah. The last check we had is it when they put these up, they put the title up and they say not in out of stock. And I'm going, it's a brand new book. How can it be out of stock? Well, it's just because they're putting all the files together and all this other stuff. So anyway, by the time you hear this, it should be up on Amazon.
It already is. I haven't.
Is it now?
I checked it just before we started the podcast.
Of course.
It now reads in stock.
Okay. That's a good thing because I updated the website so it has the link. Good. But anyway, the book is Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective Volume 17. It's our newest book in this best-selling series, and it features 5 new mysteries. Singles by I.A. Watson, R.A. Jones, Jonathan Casey, and 2 shorts by George Takis. This is George's first work for Airship 27, and yours truly, as ever, is doing the interior illustrations, and gracing the entire package will be a riveting color cover by artist Chris Rodding. Go to the website, and I will probably put it also at the end of this this video. That cover, it is very striking. It's a typical pulp cover. It's got a lot of red on it, so it's very eye-catching.
For sure. Yeah. And I'm always amazed because, I mean, one of the reasons I love this series so much, aside from the great stories, right, is the fact that all our cover artists, and we've gone to everybody. You've done several, and we've gone to practically, most of the artist staple at Airship 27. And you're always saying to yourself, well, what's new? What can they do that's new? And they constantly surprise us. When Chris's cover came in and I pulled it up on my screen, I went, whoa, we ain't seen that before. Okay. Yeah. Again, it is riveting.
It is so riveting. We didn't put any blurbs on this cover. No. We left, normally we say, 5 new mysteries by blah, 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 blah. And this time we left it alone because that cover reaches out and grabs you. So it needed help.
Yeah, check it out. And again, if you're a fan of our consulting detective series, this one again maintains that quality. The 5 stories are really unique. Some are heart-wrenching. And get your tissues ready. I think Rob will know which one I'm talking about. Anyways, and I'll give you a little teaser of what's coming ahead for this series, because we are moving rather rapidly. We're planning something really unique for volume 20. So that still leaves us 18 and 19. but I'm not going to give it away. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but Rob and I have been talking with writer Ian Watson, who, as many of you know, has been in every single volume of Consulting Detective. And last year, we had started talking about the possibilities of making volume 20 something rather special and unique, even to the point where there may be 2 editions, depending on, what we can come
Yeah,
up with, what
we'll
we can
see.
do. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. But this, even if it's just one, it's going to be a rare entry in the series, and one that I'm going to predict is going to be a collector's item immediately once it's finished. So be on the lookout for that. And so, okay, we got 2 books out since last month, and considering the ups and downs of your life and mine, and the surgeries
Yep.
and all that good stuff, I'm very happy about that. I think we got 2 really great books out. But as ever, what's coming next? Okay, well, we still have Marshall Horn of Talon's Crossing by writer Tyler Offhammer. This is a collection of 3 Western stories featuring the marshal of a small Nevada town. Now, artist Jeff Cram did the interior illustrations. He is doing them. This being his first work, again, for Airship 27, and we're hoping he'll do more for us. His work is truly unique, and we've got a beautiful cover in-house by the ever fantastic Adam Shaw. Now, very recently, I was in contact with Jeff because there's only 3 interior illustrations left to do, and we can wrap this book up and get it out. Whereas I got a little bit of bad news, Rob, and I know it's one you'll probably very much empathize with, as he's an artist. He is suffering from what looks to be carpal tunnel. Okay,
This is to
and
help keep me from getting that. This
yeah,
glove that I wear.
so he tries to draw and instantly starts getting into pain.
Yep.
And so,
Been there.
when he let me know that, I immediately told him to take it easy, relax, not to worry. We have never imposed deadlines on any of our creators, and I'm not going to do it on this one, because, like I said, of the 12, he's already done 9 illustrations, which are really great. And we will wait. We will wait for him to get the others. But in the interim, he's taking medication, doing hand exercises,
Yeah.
and hopes that he can finish those 3 illustrations before he has to sit down and start talking about actual surgery.
Yeah.
Because
Let's hope.
once
Let's hope it doesn't get there. It,
yeah,
sometimes the physical therapy can do it for you, but there are times when you have to have the operation.
yeah.
I'm trying to avoid that operation myself.
Well,
I don't have it really bad, thankfully.
when before we retired, as you know, my wife and I worked at a General Electric factory back in New Hampshire. And a lot of the works that we did were assembly work off an assembly line. You sat there and repetitiously did.
Hmm.
And over the years, I knew lots of people that ended up suffering from that. All right. And it was brutal.
Yeah.
And eventually, some of them, the only relief they could have was actually having surgery and helping them. Okay. But yeah, when you constantly do the same motions over and over and over with your hand, those are small muscles and they wear rather rapidly. As like I said,
Muscles and tendons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it's tendons. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
Anyway.
what else do we have to look forward to? What's next up
Okay.
there?
The next one on our list, and as always, we don't know which one will pop up to the top of the surface of the water. But the next one on our list is The Adventures of Doc Atlas, Volume 1. This is created by writers Michael Black and Ray Lovato. This is their take on the classic pulp adventure heroes, similar to Doc Savage. Volume 1 reprints several of the earliest Doc Atlas stories, and we're happy to report artist Ed Cato has begun working on the interior illustrations. When completed, Ed will also do the cover, which will be his first for Airship 27. He's really excited about this, and I forget how many illustrations he's turned in, but this is some of
4.
his finest work
Yeah.
that he's sent to us ever. He is pulling out all the stops
Yeah.
and really kicking it into high gear for this book. I think he really wants to knock everybody's socks off with this, and so far, I think he's doing it. So
Oh yeah.
I
All right.
can't wait to see what he does with the cover.
Amen. Because each new illustration, and there are 4 of them in the house, one more, and he's past the halfway mark of 9 illustrations. and each new one seems to be even better than the one previously, which is always a great sign, because it's like you said, it shows his continued enthusiasm for the project. And like you, I'm going to be very curious as to how the cover comes out, and that is something that we're going to conference about, me, you, and Ed, all three of us together, because this is something really special for Michael and Ray. All right, they've been doing Doc Atlas stories for over 10 years or whatever. They have a following. All right, and for them to come and say, "Hey, we'd like to bring this series to Airship 27," was big. I don't want to drop the ball here, and that's why when I have to Ed to do what he's doing, and I want this to be a quality book and the first of a series whereby we'll reprint most of the early Doc Atlas books, and once that's caught up, Ray and Michael will be giving us brand new Doc Atlas adventures. So all you fans out there, hang in there. They're coming. Okay, and speaking of classic heroes, another book that we've got in production right now, and I've had a few people write me wondering where this was at, is Bulldog Drummond #3, Baited Hook. Ian Watson's third reimagined Bulldog Drummond volume features the classic pulp hero in 3 new fast-paced adventures. As ever in volumes 1 and 2, Howard Simpson is now doing the interior illustrations, and we've seen some of his composition roughs. Look this to be another winner. And this is something that's a personal favorite of mine, because I suggested it to Ian a couple of years ago, and he grabbed the ball and ran with it big time. Okay,
I think we originally thought about doing that as an anthology, and right out of the box, Ian wrote a great story, and he's been coming up with novels ever since.
Yeah.
So
we're not touching it with a 10-foot pole. When it works, you don't fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then don't fix it.
And then we've got another, believe it or not, fantasy sword and sorcery adventure, where I remember last year someone asking if we were ever going to get into this, and all of a sudden with like Mike Bullock's Rune Master, and now we're doing this, which I'll let you tell our loyal listeners about.
Yeah, we're starting to do fantasy stuff. So this one's called Dragon Throat: The Chronicles of Altiva. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly, but because I haven't read anything that says how it's supposed to be pronounced, but for now, that's how it's pronounced. This is the start of a new sword and sorcery series by Teal James Glenn, and I'm sure he will correct me if I'm wrong, with Chris Nye providing all the artwork, and some of that's come across the transom already in it. Again, he's kicking butt as usual. From the 9 black and white interior illustrations to his very first full color cover for Airship 27. We're getting the interior illustrations in on the covers now. That's good. I'd love to see that. So this one looks to be another winner in the Airship 27 catalog, and we're expanding. Next we'll be going into romance.
Now bring it on. I say,
maybe Radio Rito will be our excursion into romance. Who knows? But now that I joke about it, somebody's going to pitch one to us. You watch.
Bring it on, okay? Our criteria is, I talk to people a lot of times online about, is there any subject you won't touch? And my answer to that's always the same, Rob, which is basically, you give me a quality story and I'm going to read it. I am going to consider it. Okay, it's just the criteria is the quality. How good is the story? Okay, I really don't care if it's horror. I don't care if it's a Western. I don't care if it's, again, and like we said, a romance. All right, but you give me something that's unique and special. All right, that stands on the writing itself, then we'll consider it. We will definitely consider it.
We've skirted to the edges of what pulp is, but we've never completely run off the edge there. But I think even if a well-written pulpish romance crossed the transom, we would look at publishing it. Definitely.
Yeah, because
all joking aside,
right? No, in the last year or so, and the first person I'm thinking of was obviously R.A. Jones.
Right.
A little over 2 years ago, R.A. Jones gave us a fantasy adult fantasy book, all right, called The Road Twice Taken, which was
Mhm.
unlike anything we had ever touched, very much a Twilight Zone type of
And there was a little
atmosphere.
romance in that, really.
They were a
You could,
great
yeah,
deal.
definitely.
And then last year he gives us Peter Pan novel, all right, which was beautifully written and a lot of fun. And Gary Cato delivers such amazing art. We get that great Ted Hammond cover, and I consider that a real, I mean, I can we
Uh,
put that on a table and people are going to pick it up. It is an absolutely
With that
gorgeous book.
Ted Hammond cover and Peter
Oh,
Pan floating in air like that and Alice standing in
yep,
front of him, yeah.
yeah, oh
That's
yeah.
it.
So
In fact, when I sent and now R.A. Jones has done a Sherlock Holmes.
yes,
Yeah,
right, which is in volume
the latest
17. Yeah,
consulting detective, he did.
yeah.
So when he sent me back his proof copy of it, he says, "Well, it's a trifecta." You
He
know,
got, in fact, I got to tell you, yeah, what you're just saying, he dropped me a little short thank you note of all things earlier this afternoon about, being happy to be a part of Airship 27 and the fact that we've been so open minded with some of these, genres and stories he's done. All right. And again, RA is such a gifted writer. I mean,
yeah.
his work is brilliant. All right. So yeah, and his next offering for us, and we've mentioned it once, but I'm gonna keep that on the down low right up. But his next offering for us is going to be a horror novel. And considering how well he does anything he touches,
Wow.
I may not read this at night, Rob. Okay, I mean,
Well, yeah, because he can do some. I worked with him on Scimitar, which can
yeah,
be pretty brutal at times, and yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah,
I would probably turn all the lights on in the house to read that one, even during the day.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, no,
Okay. Hey,
yeah.
look, that's it. We've cleared the agenda for episode 77, and again, the next piece before your joke is basically, is there anything else you'd like to discuss or bring up?
No, I was gonna squeeze in the thing about, Planet Comic-Con, but I did that earlier. I've got it here in my notes that's what I was gonna squeeze in here. I can't think of anything else at the moment. All I can say is, what I will throw in here at this point is, it seems like we're having a resurgence in COVID. And so I would like to encourage all of our fans and all of our creators that if you haven't gotten your vaccine yet, please go get your vaccine. It's I don't understand why people haven't so far, but it's a personal choice, but I would like to encourage you to do that. I think what's going to happen is some conventions and some places will not allow you to go unless you've got proof that you've been vaccinated. How that happens, I don't know. I think that's a possibility. Instead, let's all get vaccinated so they don't have to do that.
Oh yeah,
Let's because if you get vaccinated, hopefully the numbers will go back down
they
again,
will.
and we
They
won't
will.
have to worry about that.
Right.
Uh,
It's a done deal. And
yeah,
what we're finding out here in Colorado, especially, okay, what we're finding out is where there are resurgences in specific counties, believe it or not, are the same counties that didn't get a lot of people taking their shots.
yeah,
Okay. Come on, that's no accident, people. All right. That's not just, oh, it just happened to be there. All right. No, you're not protecting yourself. And sure, there's going to be resurgent. Okay. This is those cases where we protect each other. All right. And that's vital. And one of the ads they're showing here in Colorado, Rob, which again bothers me and my wife to no end. All right. And it's the nurse who's talking about this very thing. Okay. And
I know which
how
story you're gonna tell. Yeah,
well, and she's saying, we're bringing in people who are still dying of this. They're dying of this. And she goes, I have to stand there and hold their hands when they look at me, all right, and admit they didn't get their shots because they didn't believe it. They didn't think it was, still dangerous, still this or that, right? She said, how do I tell their families they're gone because they made a mistake? All right. He said they cry. They don't want to die. It's too late. All right. Come
and
on,
enough
people.
people have had the vaccination now that we see that the numbers of people who have adverse reactions to it are very, very small.
Exactly.
Mostly what happens to most people is you kind of get a real mild case of it's very flu-like symptoms, it's very COVID-like symptoms, but they're very mild. Mine lasted like a day, and they
Well,
weren't that bad.
right, and the shots themselves have been proven to be so effective, Rob, that even with these news of these variants, okay, the things I
It's
keep seeing,
still working.
it still
Yeah.
helps you. It helps you with that. Yeah,
That's amazing.
maybe sometimes in the fall there'll be a booster shot. Hey, I'll be the first one to stand in line and get it.
Me
Okay,
too. If I need
no
one, I'm
problem.
getting one. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's worked so far,
Yeah.
but I'm going to start wearing my mask again. Since I was vaccinated, and they told me, they said, all you vaccinated folks, you can take your masks off. And I'm going, well, and when I get in a big crowd, I'm still going to wear it. Every time I go out now, I'm going to wear it until people can start getting vaccinated again. So let's get rid of the masks. Let's get rid of, all these. Get vaccinated.
Again, like I
Let's get
said, yeah,
let's
we're
things
we're
going.
that close. We're that close. I mean,
We are
really.
really
Robert and I were talking earlier at the start of the show, before the show. I'm so happy to see baseball back this season, and all the stadiums are full, and the players are going nuts because they're not playing to empty stadiums again. Right?
Right.
They're full. All right. I don't want this to end. I don't want us going backwards. Okay,
Yeah.
please. All right. So,
Yeah.
if you're one of those persons who's waffling on the edge, okay, and hey, I'm not going to twist anybody's arm, but
No,
again, think of last year and ask yourself, do we ever want to go back there? Of course we don't. Of course we don't. Okay, go get your shot. Let's keep going in this direction, the right direction.
yeah.
All right, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, and end of lecture.
Yeah. Okay. And now, all right, something you might need a shot for.
Okay. All right. I saw this online. It's a notice from Montana. Montana grizzly bear notice. In light of the rising frequency of human grizzly bear conflicts, the Montana Department of Fish and Game is advising hikers, hunters, and fishermen to take extra precautions and keep alert for bears while in the field. Quote, we advise that outdoorsmen wear noisy little bells on their clothing so as not to startle bears that aren't expecting them. We also advise outdoorsmen to carry pepper spray with them in case of an encounter with a bear. It is also a good idea to watch out for fresh signs of bear activity. Outdoorsmen should recognize the difference between black bear and grizzly bear poop. Black bear poop is smaller and contains lots of berries and squirrel fur. Grizzly bear poop has little bells in it and smells like pepper. I almost didn't make it through. Grizzly bear poop has little bells in it and smells like pepper.
Oh, okie doke. There we go.
Yeah, I laughed out
Oh,
loud when I read that one online. I went, that's the one.
excellent, excellent. Oh God, that was fun.
Oh,
Hey,
jeez.
and so, loyal airman, once again, Chief
Another
Engineer
hour
Rob
we'll
and
never
Captain
get
Ron.
back.
It's an hour. It's gone. This hour is gone. You gave it away.
Thanks for
Hey,
with us.
yeah, really. Thanks for joining us and helping us, have fun with this. We will see you back here sometimes next month, the good Lord willing, depending on Rob's schedule and mine.
Probably
But
just before I go to Planet Comic Con. Then he locked,
right,
maybe right after. We'll see.
yeah.
We'll see how things go. If
Hopefully, in
it's
some of these,
exactly 1 month from now, it'll be after, but maybe before, depending on how many books we can get out. We can
yeah,
get a couple of books out
you're
between.
doing. I got to mention, you're doing Planet Comic Con. I am going to be at Griffin's Games and Comics here in Fort Collins on the 14th, which is going to be August 14th,
Okay.
Free Comic Book Day.
Give me the information on that. I'll put it on our website too, because I
Okay.
put a little news notification is where you and I are going to be.
Okay.
So yeah, give me the information on that. I'll put it on our
Yeah,
website.
I will do that. So if I've got any of our local buddies here in Fort Collins or Wyoming, come on down to Griffin's. They before last year there was no such thing as COVID, but prior to COVID, uh, they were getting almost 1,500 people through that comic shop on that Saturday.
Wow.
1,500 people, Rob. They lined up around the parking lot by 10 o'clock in the morning, and then they start coming through, and it
Wow.
doesn't stop till 5-6 o'clock in the afternoon. It is insane. And so obviously we all missed it like crazy last year, and
Oh,
I'm very excited to have it back again. And so, yeah, I'll be there with my own little table. I get to put up my new camera, which hasn't seen the light of day.
You got that just before
Just before COVID struck. It's still in the
man.
bag. So yeah, so I'm so
You
looking
probably
forward to
don't remember how to set it up.
I don't. I'm gonna have to practice before I go and do that here.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Hey, again, Loyal Airman, thanks so much for stopping by. Rob, why don't you sign us off?
All right. This is Chief Engineer Rob Davis signing off.
And as ever, Captain Ron has the fun of saying, down ship.